to absorb out-of-school children. And later on, we'll share this with you. Borno State Governor focuses on primary health care in the first 100 days of his second term, underlying the state's reputation as the best in Nigeria in primary health care. Now, I'm hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju, BKO. I greet you, Jide.
I greet you, the citizens.
Yeah. And we are joined by Dotun Oladipo. Many thanks to you.
Thank you for having me again, sir.
All right, the team is ready. I hope you are. Okay, let's set sail. You know, in these perilous times of unspeakable happenings in our traumatized country, you shudder terribly at what news you are constrained to consume. The Borno State Police Command has let it be known that a so-called repentant Boko Haram fighter by the name of Musa Dauda has killed his ex-wife and buried the hapless woman on a farm located at Maiduguri, the state capital. The demented Boko Haram terrorist had invited the woman, Hafsat Musa, to meet her on the farm. The rest, as they say, is history. But let's share the story by TVC News' Jesse Tafida. Come with me.
The news of a repentant Boko Haram terrorist who killed his wife and buried her at her farm has spread like wildfire in Maiduguri. Many are still doubting if this is just a mere rumor or a fact. TVC News took the task of seeking for the main story of the incident. We visited the police headquarters in Maiduguri, where the police public relations officer Sani Shatambaya explained the situation. First, he validates the story and further gives details on the issue.
One Musa Dauda, a repentant Boko Haram terrorist of Dala area, Maiduguri, invited his divorced wife, one Hafsa Musa, aged 45 years, of the same address, to meet him in her farm situated inside Mohammed Goni Stadium, Bulungkutu area. Since then, Hafsa Musa did not return back home, neither was she seen again. The police operative of the command received information from one Uwani Bello and Nura Muhammad that they visited a farm and discovered a lifeless body of Hafsat Muhammad, half buried to the ground. Effort was then intensified to arrest the prime suspect, Musa Dauda, who is said to be her former husband and had disappeared and was declared wanted by the police.
He notes that this act will not be swept under the carpet.
The state CID has commenced diligent investigation and the suspect will soon be arraigned in court for prosecution. The command is always on its toe to ensure that no stone is left unturned.
The suspect was brought before us. He admits he committed the crime in a fit of anger. He says, I went to the farm to assist her, but when I arrived, I caught her having an affair with another man. I was furious and decided to stone the man with the hoe I was holding. Unfortunately, the hoe injured her badly and she died instantly. I was afraid of the situation. That was why I buried her and ran away. The police say the suspect will be charged to court after preliminary investigations are completed. It wants the public to always report any suspicious movement around them, as security is a duty for all. Jesse Tafida, TVC News, Maiduguri.
All right, thank you, Jesse. Jide, this is, to say the least, unspeakable. What name do you give to this now?
This guy is just a beast. He's
demented.
He's thoroughly demented. And a lot of these guys that we call repented Boko Haram terrorists cannot be trusted. There was one who, after being cleaned up, treated in the way repented Boko Haram terrorists are treated, went to his father's house, killed him, and stole his cattle. So the hunger to kill, the appetite to take life has not really diminished in a good number of these people. We have to tell ourselves the truth. We have to tell ourselves the truth. So, at what point did they even reintegrate this fellow into the society? And this is supposed to be a former wife. They had been divorced or separated.
Yeah. So
now he went, lured her back to himself. Only God knows what promises he made to her. You know, for the woman to have returned.
But does it make sense there? Is it plausible to say this is a woman you had divorced? Why did she go?
That one we cannot ask the deceased because she's gone. But he must have made some promises that, look, let's come back together and all that. Most women do not really want to be single because the society tends to accord so much respect to a woman of that age, 45 years, who is married and in the home of her husband. So he must have made promises to her that, look, we need to come together and all that. And the woman fell for that bait. But perhaps he had been nursing the desire to take her life for so long, because this claim that, he saw her with someone in the farm. Even if you saw her with someone in the farm, this is somebody that was not married to you, not legally married to you. You people are divorced.
Oh, yeah.
So why would you? I mean, the story, maybe by the time they put him in the slammer for some time and they do some grilling, the real story will come out. Yeah. I don't believe his account that, he saw her flirting with another man, this and that. No,
An afterthought.
Yeah, I know, that's not the reason. He had long harbored the desire to take her life.
Doctor, are you able to rationalize what we are talking about?
Like Bikio said, I'm not sure what could have...
because it raises more questions than answers.
Yes, because anyway, there is an account that says that woman was killed on her farm because the man said, let's meet on your farm. And then... On the woman's farm? Yes, on the woman's farm. And then he saw another man around. That's the account. So, this is somebody, like we could say, that you've not had anything to do with in so many years, that you've been on the side of Boko Haram. So what's the justification for that kind of step?
Now, Jide is talking about trusting a supposed repentant terrorist. Mm. Is there any such thing?
Well...
Can a terrorist be repentant?
I think that was why a commissioner in Borno was actually trying to draw a line between those who were actual terrorists and those who were forced into
the business,
living with the terrorists. Those who are abducted, those who are taken for ransom, and all the rest. Because the commissioner in Borno State said, of about the 100,000 that they have so far radicalized, only about 5,000 of them were actually terrorists. But we've said it here a lot of times on this program. Even for the soldiers who are fighting these terrorists, some of the things that they see, they are not even terrorists themselves, can make someone mad. Some of us have watched a couple of videos shown by the security agencies to say, see, this is why we are moving against these guys.
Yeah.
And the first one I had the opportunity of watching, that was at Airport Hotel here in Lagos. It was supposed to be a breakfast meeting. Some, including a military officer, were vomiting even before the breakfast. Okay. Not up to 5% of those present could eat. So when you deal with guys like that, you know that it's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
Saying you have tamed them and you have brought sanity back.
Doctor, quickly, before we go to our next story. Now a crime has been committed. He has been apprehended. You expect the law enforcers to go the whole hog?
They should. But unfortunately, like we say in this part of the world, in our own climb, the wheel of justice, it rolls too slowly.
Okay. All right. Did they share the sentiment?
Well, even when usually the press does not follow
A story through.
this kind of story. It's not a big story to many people. After a while, and the police too, beyond parading him, they are not going to provide updates after today. That is their style.
Yeah.
So you just find that people are curious to know how this whole thing ended. They are not going to have information. And the whimsical nature of judicial service delivery is such that they could be on this matter for up to 10 years. Some days that is supposed to have his date in court, the Black Maria may be unserviceable, or something will just happen, and it will be there. It will be in prison indefinitely. The world will not even remember this matter.
All right. I can only hope that the family of the deceased, the killed woman, will be consoled. All right, to our next story. You know, in a dollarized economy like ours here, the local, or should I say the national currency, continues to be unstable or lose value as a medium of exchange for market transactions. The Naira took another plunge as it exchanged at 995 to $1. However, Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Olawale Edun, said up to about $6.8 billion of overdue forward payment, that is to say, a delay in payment to a vendor or service provider, was responsible for the slump in the value of the Naira. Until this is effectively addressed, the situation will remain dire. Now, the new governor of the central bank and his team have a yeoman's job to do. Wouldn't you say so, Doctor?
Just last week, we spoke about
the new
task
plan.
Yeah, before the new AMS plan. And, you know, we said it, that anybody who is expecting magic or a miracle should just forget it. It took us from about 2009, 2010, when we had 125, 150 to $1, to 2023, when we have it at 1,000. That's about 14, 15 years. I can only pray that it doesn't take us another 14, 15 years
Are you
to get back. It is just about the only thing one can use now. Because if we do the calculation like I've done now, that it took us 14, 15 years to get here, then if we have to take another 14, 15 years to get back to where we came from, it's going to be a very, very tough one for us. I hope we don't go that route. I just hope so. Because like we said, the factors that resulted into what we have now did not just come up overnight.
Before our eyes.
Yes, we were looking at them.
Yeah.
We were looking at them. When you say you delay payment, there are so many things we are doing that are wrong. On the International Air Travel Agents Association list, we are topmost in people withholding airlines funds. $783 million as at the end of August. Nobody runs that kind of system and
expects to.
We can't.
Yeah.
Once you owe and you are unable to pay, then there's a problem. You must even pay, but once you are unable to pay, it means you are not generating enough money. That's the meaning.
What I mean is you must pay the price.
You must pay the price. It means we were spending more than we were making. And we were not looking at that side of the economy. Because, one, we could borrow. Two, we could print. So we were just digging the hole and praying that somebody will fill it from the bottom, and then we are out of the hole. Basically what we did in the last...
Doctor, there's no magic about it. For any national currency to take a dip like our own, what you do, the answer is go into aggressive production, and services, service delivery.
Until we said it, we've been saying it. Mbiko has been hammering on it. Until we go from a consuming economy to producing economy.
We remain here.
We're here.
You get the impression we are damned.
We are, but we can't expect a quick fix, given the situation that we find ourselves, given the state of the economy. For so long, we were just merely papering over the cracks. Now, just as the CBN governor said, because let's face it, those who are in the business of retailing foreign exchange, their main argument, their main position is that the CBN has been staying on the sidelines, that in the last few weeks, the CBN has not supplied the official markets the way it should. Now, can the CBN supply the market the way it should when it is obligated to pay this backlog that we are talking about, amounting to about $8.6 billion? If we don't solve that problem, President Tinubu can go up and down seeking foreign investment and all that. They are not going to come in. Nobody would want to invest, no foreign investor would want to invest in local assets in our country without firm guarantees that he can evacuate his capital when the time comes. This has been a big problem that we were treating like it is not an issue.
Yeah.
People come in here, they invest here. When it's time to
recoup,
what they have made. When it's time for us to make it available to them,
that's it.
CBN is unable to do that. Look at the airlines. Some people have argued that, why shouldn't they be paid in Naira and all that? Was that the agreement that was reached? If that was not the tradition from the beginning, there's no way in the middle of a game that you suddenly say, sorry, we are going to pay, we are going to pay you in Naira. Not even Nigerian companies that get into trading obligations with you will agree to that. But it amounts to shifting the goalpost in the middle of the game. So I want to believe that what the Minister Wale Edun said is correct, because BDCs, a good number of them, do not have access to the dollar. They want to sell, but they do not have access to it. And they are pointing in the direction of the CBN, that the CBN has not supplied the official market, the I&E window, the import and export window, which is the official market. The CBN has not supplied it with enough of the greenback for them to trade in. So people are running. What we have now is actually a stampede. A stampede for the dollar. People buy, not just importers, not just people who want to pay school fees abroad, not just people schooling abroad want to pay school fees, not just people who want to go for medical tourism and all that, There are people, and this is a big problem, I've been talking about it for a long time. There are people who, having lost total confidence in our currency, believe that the dollar is the right store of value.
Yeah.
So, and because of the endemic corruption in our country, citizen, there are people who get bribed in excess of R1 billion, for example, They will not want to keep those billions in their homes, billions of naira in their homes. What will it amount to anyway? They will rather secure that currency, secure the value of that currency in dollar terms. So they store dollars in their homes. If they break into people's houses in Abuja, the big people, people in government, their friends, people who do contracts for government,
their cronies,
people in the National Assembly, if they break into their homes,
the harvest,
the tons of dollars that they will find, because people have stolen money in naira terms and have elected to convert.
Have mopped up the
hunger for the dollar in our country. I've always said it is unreal. A good chunk. Yes, we have issues. We can't pretend we are not earning enough and all that. But a good chunk of the dollars in people's hands are proceeds of corruption. They merely converted naira to dollars. So if somebody, for example, if I stole 3 billion, for example, which is a possibility in our country, 3 billion naira. If I stole 3 billion naira in our country.
When you do, tell me.
Yes, so that we can share it together. So if I steal 3 billion, just using that as an illustration, may that day not come when I will ruin my name and my family name by stealing money. If I steal 3 billion naira, if the Bureau de Change operator tells me, look, this thing is 990, even if he says it's 5,000 naira to a dollar, because I have not labored for it, it's not the product, it's not my sweat. Go. Yes, honestly, I will let go. And that is part of the reasons why we are going through this. People are ready to exchange.
We're in trouble.
I said, when they were shouting about 25% in Abuja, the other, I said, what is in Abuja? It's just one city in our country where a good number of people are not into decent business. A good chunk of the money of our country, that's where it gets to.
But a good number of them have found safe haven there.
Yes. That is where the bulk of our country's funds get stolen and stashed originally in naira and then converted to
I hope you are not sending folks on errands there, you know.
I'll be happy if they can find what has been stolen. What has been stolen, I'll be happy. You see, part of what the president can do, all of these people that applied for funds during the last administration, applied for dollars and have misapplied it or refused to even apply it.
and
they need to. They know them. The CBN has a good record of them. They need to find these people and collect our dollars that they took from us through fraudulent means. We need to collect it from them and use it to show up our reserves.
Dr. At this point, you are forced to ask the question, are we a serious country?
Well, unfortunately.
Doctor is not going to tell you that.
Are we a serious country? All right, so ours is just to help mold opinion based on facts available to us. Now, let's go on a break. We should be back shortly. Please stay.
On the 19th of June 2023, President Bola Tinubu appointed Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar as the 22nd Chief of the Air Staff of Nigeria. Watch the first exclusive and extensive interview by Air Marshal Abubakar as he shares his vision for the Air Force with Babajide Kolade Otitoju. The Air Chief stresses that motivation of troops through enhanced welfare is the most important element of any system.
The human being is actually the most important element in any system. And that is why we are paying a lot of attention in making sure that our personnel are highly motivated.
He praises the federal government for providing the Nigerian Air Force with modern equipment, but like Oliver Twist, he's asking for more.
Still need more equipment, more platforms, more armament, more technology.
Air Marshal Abubakar speaks on the Tucano bombers and their contributions to battlefield successes of the Air Force.
One precision weapon, call them precision kill weapons, on the Super Tucano may be as costly as maybe $100,000. So it's not on any kind of target you want to use that kind of weapon.
He is excited with the acquisition of new warplanes, which gave the Nigerian Air Force greater capacity and capability.
The EH-1 Zulu helicopter from the United States, we are acquiring 12 of them. The Trekker helicopters, we're having another 10 of that is coming from Italy. The M346, the government is acquiring 24 of them for the Nigerian Air Force.
The Air Force chief also recalls being fired at as a pilot.
In the heat of the crisis around Maiduguri, dropping supplies and troops into the Maiduguri airport, we have actually been fired at some point.
Watch the full interview on Journalists Hangout on Tuesday, the 26th of September.
All right, many thanks for staying. Now to our next story. Ordinarily speaking, when too many people are involved in doing a particular thing, the chance of bungling that task is 50-50. On the Seme-Badagry Road, a major route that connects Nigeria to countries within the West African region, and aptly referred to as the gateway to the West Coast, we have recorded a choking 400 checkpoints. The Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Shippers Council, Emmanuel Jime, says trade among countries within the region is grossly affected. Is anybody listening? And is anyone out to change it? Dotun, is anybody listening?
Well, we've all been listening.
Okay. Will anything change?
I don't see anything changing drastically if drastic measures are not taken. Now, it's like a case of the more you look, the less you see on the road. These issues have been there for so many years. And when you go for official communication, feedback on this, what you get is customs will say, we have only 3 checkpoints. The army will say, maybe it's about 3. Police will say, maybe about 10.
Immigration.
So by the time you even add all of them together, you may not get more than 30, 40, 50. But we all know that the ones that constitute the most problem, the very problematic ones, are the illegal ones.
The illegal
that spring up, and within minutes, if any officer is coming around,
they dismantle it?
It's dismantled. You won't find those guys.
Not to say that the officer does not know.
No. It's not so much about that. Because sometimes they come, they make some arrests, but I can tell you in 2-3 hours, they are back.
Sorry. So when we say trouble no dey finish, this is what we mean.
It's part of the trouble no dey finish. But something should be done. And it is also the same thing that people complain about, even within the country. When you travel, especially during the day, say from here to a place like Akure, which is in Ondo State, say to a place like Kogi, Lokoja, which is in Kogi State, the likelihood of running into these multiple checkpoints
is there.
But when you do it at night, anytime from about 4-5 p.m., it's going to be like every kilometer you are stopping. Because you see them, everybody, and that's why the cost of doing business in Nigeria can't go down. Because you want to move your goods from Lagos to a place like Abuja, and you spend so much, and that's why you see the clamor.
When you hear crazy things like to move yam,
yes,
harvested yam from, say, upcountry to Lagos,
yes,
you pay almost through your nose.
We've even had reports. Somebody who lives with...
Yams are not arms.
Yes, somebody who lives with cattle from Kano going to Akwa Ibom, saying he pays over $1 million per trip. And these are not ghosts. But by the time you say it, the police will count the number of official checkpoints that they have.
Yeah.
And tell you. But in between those checkpoints, you have like 10 more.
Jide trouble, no they finish.
Yes. Well, you know they finish. It's down there, don't sing that song. If we just they enjoy.
And they are mainly man-made.
Yes. These guys are just simply looking to make money illegally. Let's first talk about even our ports. The bottlenecks that multiple security agencies, by their presence, create in the ports. You have to go through this, go through that, go through this, go through that, and then in the name of 100% inspection, what technology can do within minutes. They will do 100% inspection, we're checking one, bringing this one out, checking. You know, it makes no sense. These checkpoints that they are talking about, all these guys want to do is harass drivers so that they can part with their money. It's bribes. Bribes, that's what they're after. Now, we talk about high cost of goods and services in our country. When you are moving cattle from Maiduguri, for example, or from Mambila, where they have some really big cattle, you're moving them to Lagos. The number of checkpoints, some manned by soldiers, some manned by police, some manned by NDLA, some manned by immigration.
Special task force too.
And then, of course, the local government guys who also stand on the road, you know, with spikes, waiting to bust your tire if you
don't play ball.
They are all there. Everyone wants a taste of the action. Everyone wants to get bribed by the driver. By the time he gets to Lagos, he is going to push that burden on the end consumer.
That's it. That's it.
That's why beans, for example, beans produced in ample quantity in Borno State. Lagosians are the biggest consumers of Borno beans. And it's expensive. It's expensive, but before it gets here, I went to do a story in a town called Koshebe, where Boko Haram slaughtered about 60 farmers one day. In Koshebe, some watermelon, depending on the size, watermelon costs as little as 100 naira.
However big.
Yes. Depending on the size. The smaller ones, and those smaller ones are the most sumptuous. You taste them, it tastes far better than the big ones.
Okay.
Just about 100 naira. This is not something that they told me. I was there. In Maiduguri,
it's like, Jide, it's like if you drive through the Benue country, Benue Plateau country.
Oh, okay. Benue, oranges. They sell oranges in buckets. I'm going to get someone to do the story.
A bucket for 100 naira.
And you see, like when I went to Boko, I saw buckets of oranges, you know, paraded by the roadside. Nobody was even buying them.
Yeah.
Because every community you go, have plenty of it.
Yeah.
Barnabas Gemade's community, for example, you see oranges all over the place. Every family has its own orange tree and all that. So to move produce from the hinterland to the urban and semi-urban centers where the farmer can get them sold is very expensive. Not just because fuel prices have gone up, but because of the layers upon layers of checkpoints that the driver has to go.
I know you have heard about it. Many people pay through their noses to get posted to those checkpoints?
They will bribe their bosses now. It's just like people asking to be posted to the Niger Delta, for example. If they post you to Borno, for example, you don't have Mabida now. So now, ECOWAS, the point that Jimé is making is that all of these checkpoints do not facilitate effective trade in the sub-region.
Yeah.
So that the goal of ECOWAS is even being defeated because people complain. They are in traffic for hours because of the greed.
Sorry, Gidi, we have a gentleman reaching us from Lagos. Prayer, am I right? Good afternoon, welcome.
Hello, my name is Barry.
Yeah, Barry, welcome.
How are you, sir?
We are fine.
Yeah. Well done, sir. Thank you very much for your contribution.
Thanks.
Thank you. We appreciate you. We appreciate the way you've been analyzing programs here.
Thanks.
Sorry, my name is Barry, not Barry.
Okay.
Perry.
B-E-R-E.
Okay.
Not Barry.
Perry.
Let them correct it. Yes, B-E-R-E.
Okay. Oh, are you
Perry,
in Big
Perry.
Brother? Are you in Big Brother?
No. It's Barry.
Yes.
B-E-R-E, not Barry.
PE.
All right.
PE is Perry now. General.
Barry.
Barry.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay then.
I appreciate you. I think government needs to involve all this, to tell these policemen to evacuate the road so that, we can have a very streamlined e-food business in Nigeria. I think that's what government needs to do. Then the IGP and including the police force and the army should be included so that all these bottlenecks involving affecting businesses will be eliminated. I think that's what I feel the president can do.
Very many thanks.
Even when you go to the southeast, you see what we are talking about at its worst.
That's
Southeast.
That's the headquarters.
South, those areas.
Yeah.
Hundreds of checkpoints. You leave this one checkpoint now, you encounter another.
Almost
a spitting distance. Almost a spitting distance.
You are seeing the next
one where you are. Where you are stopped, you are seeing the next
and
one.
There's no way by which you can bypass anyone.
So
it's a nightmare for travelers.
Is this deliberate? Jide, is this deliberate?
No, it's greed. That is what we see. Modern, you don't even need static checkpoints. In modern policing, what you need is what is called motorized patrols. Motorized patrols put those trucks of yours, those Isuzu Tiger and the rest of them, get them to keep moving along those dangerous highways.
Yeah.
Not far apart from one another. Motorized, not to stay in one spot. No. And it's not as if our people don't know that this is the way to go. But for reasons best known to them, the culture of receiving bribes from people and the culture of giving returns to the guys in the office will not let this sort of thing stop. It will stop.
All right.
So it is what we do within our own country that we have taken to the international highway.
All right. Thompson is reaching us from Ibadan. Thompson, are you there? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah, let's go.
Good afternoon.
Right on, Thompson.
I want to thank BKO, thank Dr. and every other person in the studio for your good work, most especially like BKO. The matter that we are discussing here, I think we need to involve the Ministry of Transportation. Most especially, this matter is contributing a lot to the downturn of this economy.
Yes.
Truly speaking, we have wanted to convey some items from Ibadan to Onitsha last time. We were asked to pay $1 million plus. And I asked them, why are we paying up to this amount? They said, Oga, we must at least out of that, 1 million plus, pay more than 200,000 to these people on the road.
Yes.
So please, I will want to talk to Oga BKO to please take this matter to the Ministry of Transportation. It's killing businesses.
Thompson, they are listening to you. They are listening to you.
Killing businesses. I'm a player in the economy. It's killing businesses. I'm telling you the truth. We need to take this matter up. Otherwise, we'll be having a lot of issues in the administration.
Thank you. Thank you, Thompson. Thank you. Dotun, we are in trouble. You know, our problems are mainly created by man, and they can be solved by man.
If we are willing to. Now, look at the situation at the airport. At some point, when you want to travel out of the country, you put your bags on the table. They do what they call manual checking. That's after you have gone through the scanner, and they have asked you, do you have food items? If you have, you go to where you pay for it, and all the rest. What now happens is that even when your bag goes in, they still bring some people off the flight. They say, we saw this. Come and settle.
After it was supposedly
checked. So I can see, you know, some scenarios started playing in my head. The day I saw the train, the cargo train leave Apapa Port going to Ibadan, the one that is going to be extended to Kano, I can still see some of our guys getting on that train to trouble people, even for their cargoes. Because that's the way we play it. We solve one problem, and then another comes. Imagine the man who is saying from Ibadan to Onitsha. My sister has also gone through that part when she had to do some deliveries too for banks. They will tell you transportation for a truck is 300,000, but you must bring 1 million because they must settle. Otherwise, your goods won't get there. Your goods won't get there. So even the cost of settling is more than...
And it's factored into the...
Yes. So I can imagine that even when we put cargo trains on the road, we are still going to get away. These people will see that. They still go and collect this money.
You know, I hope this story, which is true, will help what we're saying. In 2017, April, my wife and I elected to travel to Benin Republic through the Badagry Seven. Dotun, and this is no joke, between mile 2 and Badagry, the thing where we see. Oh, come on.
The time you spend at checkpoints will be more than the travel time itself.
And you can't ask questions. You can't ask.
If you ask, you'll be asked to come down.
Upon uniform, upon uniform, upon.
You'll be asked to come down if you ask questions. They'll pull you out of the bus or the vehicle. That's what happens. Or they delay you further. So even the drivers will be begging you, Oga, I beg, no talk again. Once they see that you speak once.
Yes.
Okay, our problems are man-made, and the answers, we agree, are going to be man-made. Okay, to our next story. You know, like a new kid on the block, newly appointed ministers in our country continue to swim against the tide. The new Minister of Works, Senator David Mweze Umahi, himself a civil servant, says, quote, I am ready to fight with contractors over concrete technology, end quote. Now to the minister, the use of asphalt by some contractors handling road projects in the country is a source of funds depletion. Did you get that? According to the minister, any contractor who is against concrete technology in projects risks not having contracts anymore. Jide, this is a hell of a fight. Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Yeah, he said something that after the president, only God can stop him on this matter. You see, I went to Ebonyi. After the airport was opened, I was invited. And on my own, I began moving around. And I was seeing concrete roads, even in the remotest of local governments. This man constructed concrete roads. The airport itself
Concrete.
The runway is all concrete. There's nowhere else in Nigeria except Ebonyi where you find the airport, an airport with the runway all concrete. But Umahi's argument is that concrete roads last much longer.
Yeah.
You don't need... They construct roads in our country, and within 1-2 years,
they are failing.
They are failing. Look at the Oyo Ogbomosho dual carriageway, for example.
2 years is too long.
I rode on that road in the first time, 2013, with my brand new Toyota. I didn't know when I was approaching 170. The road was that good. Suddenly when I checked, I said, you want to kill yourself with this now. So I decided to take my foot off the pedal so that I don't cause problem for the people I will leave behind. That road, 3 years later, we were going for an event in our town. Was it 3 years later? Okay, 2017. It was
3-4 years, yeah.
Yes. It was in such a sorry state. Gullies. In the middle
the highway.
A brand new road. Gullies. And I'm like, what's going on? Is it not the same road? Gullies. Already in the middle of the road. So our roads are not designed to last. And many times too, these articulated vehicles carrying dead weight, staying on the road for hours. Those roads are not designed to carry dead weight.
Yeah.
They stay on the road, they damage the road, you know. But what he's saying is...
That's the minister.
Yes, he's saying, look, concrete roads are cheaper. They are cheaper and they last longer. And I can testify, I'm not an engineer like him and other people, but look at the road that Dangote constructed. So this arrangement that, okay, construct road and get a tax holiday or whatever agreement. He constructed a road from Obajana to Kaba.
In Kogi?
Yes, to Kaba. That road is still standing. Concrete road. The one that they've constructed now, coming all the way from Apapa, passing through Bagada.
Yeah.
Look, do you not enjoy traveling on that road? Even the small portion that they did here in Ojota.
Yeah.
Even the small portion that they did in Ojota, you come to like it. It's smooth and rugged. But the constructors are saying, no, you cannot change the goalpost in the middle of the game. We did not sign contract to do concrete road. We signed contract to do asphalted road, this and that. This is breach of contract. That is what they are saying. But I know that the president puts his foot down that, look, I back my minister on this. Things will change. What he wants is roads that can last for 40 years.
That's it.
Since they can actually do asphalted roads that can last 50 years, but we don't have the funds now. Because such roads cost a lot of money.
It costs more money than concrete roads.
Kudirat Abiola Way, here in Lagos, and Igondo Road. At the time when Julius Baja constructed those roads in beginning from 1999, they promised that you will not see a single pothole until after 30 years. Up to now, there is no pothole. I remember Bode George granted an interview to Temple where he was saying, just wait, after 1 year, come and look at that road. Let Bode George go back there and show us where potholes are on the road.
Except the ones that were caught by people for construction.
Yeah, we're talking about pothole, and the same thing happens in Abuja. Look at the roads that...
Sorry, Jide, we are keeping a caller waiting from Kaduna. Good afternoon, caller. I've forgotten your name, but Well, welcome, welcome. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Mr. Ude.
Ude, welcome. Let's go.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. I'm sorry to take you back to that issue about illegal taking point and the rest of them. Yeah, I'm a driver. I drive this bus called J5.
Okay.
Yeah. My route is from Kano to Port Harcourt. That's my route.
Wow.
I'm so glad that this info brought up this topic this afternoon because this has strongly affected us with the drivers. The type of taking point that is on the road, honestly, if government did not look into it, honestly, the rate the thing is going. I don't think we the drivers will.
Ude, I think we got you first time.
Ude.
We got you first time. Many thanks.
So let me just round up.
Yeah.
That road and the Gondo road, I remember. Yes, asphalted roads, but the way they were constructed, we can't construct every road in that manner.
Yeah.
Because it's extremely expensive.
That's it.
Babangida's roads in Abuja, when you are driving through Abuja experiences a good volume of rainfall each year, But the roads have remained sturdy. Most parts of Abuja, the heart of Abuja metropolis, I'm not talking about the
suburbs.
Yes. The roads are solid. They are very good.
They're like autobahns.
So, and IBB said at that time that they complained that the cost was exorbitant. But we can see that we've not had to spend money to fill potholes and all that in the heart of the federal capital. So those are the kind of roads that we want. But since they are expensive to build, concrete roads, in my view, I support the minister.
Doctor, so it's a hell of a fight. The contractors are digging in. The minister is saying, not on my dead body.
Well, the way we are in Nigeria, once we are used to doing things in a particular way that brings us more money than doing it,
we're not ready to let go.
To change. I remember about the 1985-86 when I went into Abuja. Julius Berger was still building all those Area 10, Area 11 at that time. The manner of construction gave me hope that Nigeria was going somewhere at that time. You know what they were doing, sir, with those buildings? They were bringing prefabricated slabs and just hanging them together. Meaning that they've done the casting somewhere, they bring it, put all the needed iron rods and the rest, and in 2-3 days you have something of a 3-story building standing, and they are good to go. And those houses, rock solid. Because they were pure concrete. And faster to deal with. Those houses are still standing today. I've not heard that any of them gave way.
Yeah.
Since 1986. So it should tell us something about doing things that are enduring. Look at Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Look at how long we are usually on it. Before you know it, it's gone wrong again. Before you know it, it's gone wrong again.
And would you believe it, the busiest road in West Africa?
Yes, it is.
40,000 vehicles every day.
Every day. So how do you want to keep doing that? And you think that the country will be able to survive? And what happens with these roads? You bid for 9 billion. For instance, there is one that the House of Reps is investigating now. The bid was for 9 billion. The contractor said, take it up to 14 billion for me as a way of reviewing it. All of a sudden, now we are talking of 54 billion for that same contract.
Honorable Minister, yes, Journalist Hangout will stand by you and with you. We wish you Godspeed. Okay, we'll take a breather now. We would return very shortly. Please stay.
On the 19th of June 2023, President Bola Tinubu appointed Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar as the 22nd Chief of the Air Staff of Nigeria. Watch the first exclusive and extensive interview by Air Marshal Abubakar as he shares his vision for the Air Force with Babajide Kolade Otitoju. The Air Chief stresses that motivation of troops through enhanced welfare is the most important element of any system.
The human being is actually the most important element in any system. And that is why we are paying a lot of attention in making sure that our personnel are highly motivated.
Praises the federal government for providing the Nigerian Air Force with modern equipment, but like Oliver Twist, he's asking for more.
Still need more equipment, more platforms, more armament, more technology.
Air Marshal Abubakar speaks on the Tucano bombers and their contributions to battlefield successes of the Air Force.
One precision weapon, call them precision kill weapons, on the Super Tucano may be as costly as maybe $100,000. So it's not on any kind of target you want to use that kind of weapon.
He is excited with the acquisition of new warplanes which gave the Nigerian Air Force greater capacity and capability.
The AH-1 Zulu helicopter from the United States, we are acquiring 12 of them. The Trekker helicopters, we're having another 10 of that is coming from Italy. The M346, the government is acquiring 24 of them for the Nigerian Air Force.
The Air Force chief also recalls being fired at as a pilot.
In the heat of the crisis around Maiduguri, dropping supplies and troops into the Maiduguri airport, we have actually been fired at some point.
Watch the full interview on Journalists Hangout on Tuesday, the 26th of September.
All right, welcome back, folks. From one road situation to another. You know, to say that poor roads and infrastructure are enemies of development is an understatement. Residents of Ijede and Monwala communities, I hope I'm right now, all these are in the Ikorodu axis of Lagos State, feel disconnected from civilization, no thanks to deplorable and unmotorable roads. They have therefore urged the Lagos State government to come to their aid. The duty of government is to make life bearable for tax-paying citizens. Need we say more, Dotu? No, now, TVC News' Nelson Etta visited the areas for an on-the-spot assessment. He came back with this. Watch on, please.
Residents of Mowonla in Ikorodu, northeast of Lagos, have in the last 3 years undergone what they describe as untold hardship and suffering over the continuing dilapidation of the Mowonla Road, linking Jajo, Bagido, Berigbe, Bodu and other CDAs that make up the area.
Yes. Exactly. So instead of the commercial vehicles to take maybe like 500 naira from garage to it's 1,000. They are taking they're taking 1,000.
According to them, the stage of the road has not only reduced commercial and civil activities in the area, but also served a hard punch on their daily lives.
About 4 years ago, the road was bad. You understand? People are parking. So likewise me, I park my car because I can't spend the money. The road was always spoiled all the cars.
Imagine a pregnant woman about to deliver that has emergency case. How can we move her out? Health-wise, people are not suitable living in this kind of environment. Look at the roads. Look at no drainage, nothing whatsoever. We are just, from pool to pool. That's how we move every day.
From 3 to 5 years now, we can't pass, we can't come outside, we can't come and buy our foodstuff, go to market. Even workers can't come out. If you pass through this road, people are falling inside the water.
Anytime it rains, people hardly go to work, children hardly go to school, commercial activity is virtually down. Even vehicles going to Berigbe, they ply this road now because Berigbe road is virtually non-passable. And anytime it rains, it's hellish.
The road have been bad, but now it is worse. We don't have road here because of the rain now. Malaria fever is very common here now everywhere because of the mosquito bite.
As from Bodu to this side, there is flood up and down. And you can see how the road is now. And that is how, in fact, today is very good because we don't have much rain. Hadn't been there is much rain, you could have seen what we are talking. Because you yourself will not be able to pass through this place.
It was so worse this year that cars can hardly pass. And even I have parked my car. The day I took my car out, I visited my mechanic. I spent about 150,000. In fact, I decided to park that car after I came back. I've removed my battery head. Now I don't even have a car for now because of this road. You know, it's so terrible. You see cars will just sunk in. They will sink into that place. We have to beg trailers to pull the car out.
As you can see, whilst we're here talking to residents of the area, a typical example of what they go through every day, a bus just broke down due to the state of the road. Like I've been told, residents here say that for the last 4 years, the roads began to be very bad. And since then, several letters has been written to the state government to come to the plight of the people living in this area.
They told me of how they have written several letters through the CDA to the Lagos state government to come to their rescue. But evidently, nothing has yet been done.
As a CDA community, ESCO and a leader, we've put several letters to the state government on the issue of our road, and nothing has been done till date.
We've been finding it very rough, very tough. And we've in the past, we've taken 1 or 2 efforts to draw the attention of government to this place. Even though CDAs around here have made efforts, some well-meaning individuals have invested in fixing what I would call this debacle. It's an embarrassment.
Left to their fate, the residents of Mowonla decided to fix the road to the best of their ability, just to be able to commute on the road. But that too is like a drop of a pebble in an ocean.
We, on behalf of CDAs, we have been trying our possible best to make the road motorable. In fact, we contributed money individually in order to maintain this road, to do palliative. But this year, in fact, we have tried all our possible best. You can see the drainage we did on behalf of joint community CDA with our individual donations, and still see what we are still experiencing.
Our area is economically viable. You can see we are more than, our vote here counts from Igbodu to Mowo. There's another link road that will link it to Berigbe. Then from there I can go to Jebode. So if there's no flow of traffic here, if there is no flow, then we don't have development in interior.
From Mowonla in Ikorodu local government, we moved to Ijaya Road in Ogba, Ifako Ijaya local government area. The dilapidating condition of this commercial road has not only made life difficult for businesses and government agencies in the area, but commercial transporters as well as other road users. Here, commercial transporters and business owners who spoke in anonymity with me told me they lost the incur from the impact of the condition of the road, while also exposing the real cause of the failing state of the Ijaya Road.
As you can see, the state of this road has gradually gone from good to bad to worst. But from what I've been told by residents and road users here, the government are trying to come to their rescue by putting in these stones on the road to help cushion, fill up the ground from the depth it had gone to before. But one of them told me that it's not only about filling the roads with these stones, that the real problem here is the blockage of drainage system. In fact, he took me through the drainage that links between both ends of the road and the ones at the junction here as well. That it's been blocked for a number of years, and that's why water could no longer flow through the drainage and so had to find its way on the road.
In a populated commercial nerve center like Lagos, the benefits of good roads will not only impact on the economic growth of the state, but also the state of mental health of the residents, which will result to good health and longevity of life.
Yeah, thank you, Nelson. I dare say that was a man-sized job. Doctor, you know, pictures don't tell lies. So what more can we add?
Very little. So the only little that we need to add is to plead with the Lagos state government to do something quickly. There is nowhere that is not important for a government that came into power based on the votes of the people. A vote on Victoria Island is also equal to a vote in Nigeria.
In Ikorodu.
We can even begin to break it down, you know, into the different areas. So people need the presence of government, like very, very badly.
And put simply, if you pay tax, you must reap that payment.
Yes, you must. And that is why, you know, some people will say they want to qualify one area above the other. And I say, no, it all depends. If you pay land use charge of 100,000 in Ogba, and then somebody in Ikorodu pays land use charge of 5,000 naira, it's a matter of the value placed on those properties. And gradually, the people in Ikorodu too are also paying more now. So once you contribute to the coffers of government, you deserve the good things of life. Roads, very important now.
So the man on the bus stop analyst will say the next election will be about four years away. But you can start preparing for it from now. If you understand what I mean.
Yes, by delivering the dividends of democracy to the people. Our people need good roads. And as Dotun said, the good things of life, good roads, you know, potable water, they are not meant for the rarefied communities alone. They are meant for everyone. Every law-abiding citizen, taxpayer, wants to feel the impact of government. And if people have gone through this kind of problem for years, it can make them lose total faith, not just in the government, but in their country.
Yeah.
Because people shouldn't be forced to put up with this kind of nightmare on a daily basis. I've been told that even in wet season, the road is unpassable. I mean, even in dry season.
Because the water is not going anywhere.
Yes. So something has to be done, and for our friends in the state government that are watching, we hope that they can fix these roads quickly, including that of Ogba. Ogba Road, and some bad portions of Akilo, you know. Those are centers of
the industrial areas.
Yes, so they shouldn't be left in the state that they are.
You know, Gideon Dotu, at a time like this, one saying from the late Napoleon Bonaparte comes to mind. Never interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake. So, if you understand what I mean.
Who is the enemy?
Who is the enemy?
In this connection.
Who is the enemy?
The other side.
Okay, the other politicians.
Okay, so don't allow the enemy have the last laugh.
Don't give ammunition.
Don't give
ammunition to him. Otherwise, don't interrupt him. But interrupt yourself by going to fix these roads. It's possible. I know it's possible.
Very, very.
Okay, then, to our next story. You know, a full 1/3 of Nigerian children are not in school. Consider this as well. At least 1 in 5 out-of-school children in the world is a Nigerian. And that's crazy to know. This is, to say the least, alarming. The statement by the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, underscores it all. Nigeria requires no less than 20,000 schools to absorb the disquieting array of out-of-school children. Do you share my anxiety, Jide?
I'm more than worried about the situation that we found ourselves. And you can blame insecurity for the worsening out-of-school children syndrome. You look at the situation we found ourselves. About 50%, between 48 and 50% of schoolgirls in Nigeria out of school are from the northeast and the northwest. About 50% of girls who are out of school in our country are from the northwest and the northeast. And the main reason is insecurity. A situation in which bandits believe that it makes sense for them to be attacking schools and targeting women, targeting girls, is not going to encourage parents that were trying to encourage them to allow their children to embrace Western education. It's not going to encourage them to put those children in schools. It's only going to make things worse. And I'll give you a practical example. There is this school in Jengebe, in Zamfara State, where these bandits kidnapped or abducted more than 300 girls. Last August, I went to see that school. And what the teachers told me was that, you know, the school was shut for months after the attack. By the time the school reopened, half of the students didn't come back.
Not surprisingly.
No, you can't be surprised. How many parents will feel comfortable no matter what fortifications you are coming up with? Yes, you can raise the wall as high as this building. Those children will still remain traumatized by that experience. I can tell you that a good number of those ones that were kidnapped, that were abducted, will never feel like going back to school. If they are to go back to school, they will want to go to school in a different area where they can feel relaxed, where they do not feel any threat at all. But even after that, other schools have been attacked. The Federal Government College what's the name of this town? Sabon Yauri.
Northeast.
Yauri. Sabon Yauri in Kebbi State.
Okay.
They were writing their northwest. They were writing their WAEC.
Okay.
They had almost even finished. There was a report that the school authorities got that those bandits will come. Unity schools belong to the federal government. Instead of federal authorities to shut the school, they were thinking, oh, they had just 1 or 2 papers left. Why don't we just let them
rub it in?
And then those guys came. They got some of those girls pregnant. It was Dogo Gide, the most dangerous of the bandits that engineered that attack. And he was releasing them in piecemeal fashion. He got some, his fighters got some of them pregnant. They returned. These are girls aged between 15, 16. Put them in the family way. Would they feel like coming back? Look at the Baptist school in Kaduna. the school that they raided. The church spent around 100 million to get those children off the hook. How many of those children do you think will want to return to school? So the worsening insecurity, during this week we heard about the fact that they've gone back to the hostel of a Federal University, Gusau.
Yeah.
Routinely they go there to pack guests. It's not the first time. They keep going. They will attack the community. They know the hostels where those guests are. And this community is just about 20 kilometers to the state capital. Why can't we secure this community? These guys went back there last week. They packed about 24 guests again. They've been doing that. You know, so all of these things do not help us in our desire to get children to return to school or to even feel comfortable in schools. And the question you want to ask is, that Safe School project that Okojo-Iweala and others started, what has it yielded?
Yeah.
Beyond the destruction of classrooms in Borno State, for example, that Boko Haram has done, which has prompted government to build mega schools in urban centers. There are so many schools that no one can use at this time. Even in Buniyadi, I went there. That was a place where they killed more than 40 students in their sleep in 2014. I went to that school. Yes, they've reconstructed the school because they set ablaze every building standing in that school. Boko Haram is that wicked.
They took their time.
Who will stop them? The time of the night when they come, and you know they do some recce of their own, so they know when to come and all that. They slaughter those male students in their sleep. Now, the school, they've repaired the school, but nobody, no student. So all these things, when we say we moved from 10.5 million in 2013.
Out of school, yeah.
Now they are in excess of 20 million. And I want to believe when they say 20 million, it's just conservative.
Yeah.
It's higher than that because the insecurity has made... Katsina, for example, shut all their boarding schools. They shut all their boarding schools. Schools in the hinterland have been shut.
Essentially, to say emphatically that 1 in 5 out-of-school children in the world must be Nigerian.
It's in Nigeria.
And 60% of out-of-school children in Nigeria are in northern Nigeria, largely in the northwest and
northeast. Dotun, 20,000 schools are what you require at a time like this. Not be small picking job as it.
Not be small picking job, but the biggest issue to tackle is even ensuring that those children come back to school.
Yeah.
My own, if you ask me, the priorities. Because if we talk about getting the building,
yes,
and not getting the children back,
build the schools and they won't come back.
It doesn't add up. So we shouldn't be thinking of the contracts. We should be thinking of the real issue, the real deal, those children. Because the 20 million, sir. No, we don't even need the contract as much as we need the children.
Yeah.
The 20 million we are talking about, the spike between 2020 and 2022 was 52%. In terms of out-of-school children, we moved 52% in 2 years. That's dangerous. So if you go and pull the building there, and you don't have the students, you don't have the teachers. Some of the reports by UNICEF in the last 2-3 months, especially focusing, because they are now doing it state by state. One of the states in the North Central, they said there are some schools where you have only one teacher to 400 pupils. One. That even there are some schools, you have only one teacher throughout, and that person serves as headmaster, headmistress, everything. And you have them like that. So you have them like that.
It's as if you are watching a poorly produced horror film.
So why are we building?
In real life.
Why are we in a hurry to go and build schools when we are not tackling the real issues. It's a real deal, sir. Even in our own Lagos, as a good reach, there are some areas you go, you will still find that they don't have enough teachers.
And some facilities too.
And facilities too. So we should get it right. If you don't tackle the insecurity in the Northeast, Northwest, and North Central, you can't put students back in school, even if you have the best of buildings.
Yeah. And the number will keep rising.
It will keep rising.
Yeah.
Because I can't trust the system. I can imagine being a dad in that kind of scenario. Yes. Sending my child to school, and then
with tears,
I now have to start begging somebody to return that child to me.
Yeah. And you know,
how will that child come back to me and I'll send her back?
Look at that.
It's going to be tough.
That school, that is Sabon Yauri, I can't remember. That school in Kebbi, where that federal government college.
Yeah.
The parents were left
on their own.
On their own to look for money. At a point, some of the parents who could not afford to pay, and their kids were still with these guys, some rich people that contributed money, including the former Attorney General Federation, contributed money to go and give Dogo Gide before he released those kids. And already some of them had been put in the family way, but they released them all the same. How many people will feel comfortable to send their children to such schools? One of the reasons, you know, what Borno State has done to say, okay, let's build mega schools with so many classrooms. Mega schools looking like university buildings, university senate buildings, with multiple classrooms, because children of the IDPs, they are going to benefit from those schools. In the hinterland where it is dangerous to set up schools, we will relocate them and keep them in those urban centers. They will feel comfortable, they will feel safe, and they can go to school there. It's working, but other states have not explored that possibility. You look at a state like Katsina, where at least 12 local governments are unsafe from banditry. You've got to find a way to accommodate many people in those areas who want to go to school. You need to build schools in the urban centers, places that are relatively safe for these children to constantly receive instruction. And the quality of instruction has to also improve. A situation in which, yes, we have some schools, but the children are not well taught because even the facilities are non-existent. Some, they are in classrooms without roof.
So we must raise the issue of teachers here, because that the teacher population is dwindling is disturbing too.
Yes, there are people, a lot of, and there are so many people not qualified to teach. It's not everyone who can be a teacher.
Yeah.
Because to be a teacher...
Kaduna told me that.
Yes, to be a teacher, there is... your temperament has to even be different.
Must be right.
Your psychological makeup has to be different. It's not everybody who can be a teacher. But what we have these days is never-do-wells, birds of passage, believe that, look, if they can't find a job, they can find it in teaching. They are not qualified, they are not good enough, yet they have been entrusted with the task of imparting knowledge.
Please permit this. It is like some folks joining the police force because work no day.
It is like some folks turning themselves to journalists just because they have access to cheap suits and they can speak relatively acceptable English grammar.
Okay.
That in our profession too, there are never-do-wells who have invaded our profession. Quacks.
I agree.
That's the word, quacks.
I agree.
And they have no training. They do not know anything about filtration. They just come, they say what they like on air.
And they do not yield to any correction.
They are impervious to correction because they believe that is the new way. That is the new way of doing our job. How do you talk about a new way? You have no training. Your training is not related to our profession, and you are not known to have tried to brush up your knowledge.
Yeah.
You have not contributed anything to the body of journalistic knowledge.
you
You
are
sit in studios, opinionating, talking like you already know so much.
The temperament
and
is not right a lot of
tarring
times.
the whole
The
bunch,
rest of us,
you know.
they are now making the rest of us look like people who just wandered into the profession.
Yeah.
Of course, we didn't wander into it.
Jide, those who don't know that broadcasters, journalists are born. They are not made.
Yes.
They are born.
Yes.
They are born.
You see a good broadcaster, even his voice,
yeah,
his control, his sense of control
he must
tells
have,
you the level of training.
We say he must have a trainable voice. The
Yes.
voice must be trainable.
Yes. When I listen to Alegbe, for example, you keep telling yourself, who trained these people? You listen to Nasir Zaradin, who used to anchor Tonight at 9.
Yeah.
These are people, or Dan Ladibako, my mentor. You know that a lot of training went into making them who they are.
Yeah.
It's not by wearing suit. No. It's not by wearing cheap suit.
They were trained by Nigerians because I passed through. So I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Dr. Back to the issue before we finish with this. UBEC is saying 20,000 classrooms are what we require now. So what next on the cards?
Well, let me first say that BKO was right. It's FGC, Yauri, that they took those 96 students.
Yeah.
What we need, you said it all. Once we get it right in terms of security, we need more teachers, qualified ones.
Yeah.
Not those ones who wandered in because there was nothing else to do.
Nowhere else to do. Nothing else to do.
So, and then we can say, okay, do we want to make the first 9 years of education free or the first 12? Because we must not forget.
There must be we must incentivize.
There must be an incentive. Most people cannot even afford
to pay our egg fees.
To pay, that's why you find a lot of states after they release results, they are withholding their own because the students are yet to pay.
Yes.
So you must find a way out of these things. Then you can now begin to set standards. Maybe you set standards only when there are enough people to relate with. If all of us, if we are all Lolodo, there's no standard to set. So it's when you get there, you cannot say, okay, this year, if you don't score 20, you will not, the next year you raise it. You keep raising the bar.
And we must nick in a word for parents. This is parenting should get into the next gear. Tell your children it is good to go to school.
It is really. Because some of the things we've seen in Nigeria, where people run into trouble, is lack of education.
Yeah.
Without mentioning specifics, we've seen it in the last 1 week play out, or 1 week plus, on the music scene.
People sign contracts that
they don't
even understand the letters.
That's it.
So, and then even some lawyers too, who will say they are taking the artist, they don't even know what it's all about because they are not experienced in that sector, and then
Doctor,
just put themselves.
If you were a member of the bar, you would be angling. This is the season. Yeah, in season now.
Boom time.
Yeah. Okay. So we are done. Let's check the next story out. Every once in a while, the journalist hangout train moves to an environment that expands the limit of corporate governance and shows it can be done. In this connection, therefore, journalist hangout Babajide Kolade Otitoju takes us to the northeast state of Borno, where Governor Babagana Zulum is doing a lot in the area of primary health care. As we say in the business, every picture tells a story. Shall we join BKO now for the story?
Borno State Governor Professor Babagana Umara Zulum is a man whose humanistic approach to governance is all too apparent. His approach has always been to put the people first.
In addition to providing security,
which is number one duty of any administration. My next ambition is to help the vulnerables in the society. Almost everybody is vulnerable in Borno State. It will last for throughout my tenure of the next 4 years.
Providing needs of local communities, giving them the necessities of life like quality education and healthcare. In the first 100 days of his second term, the governor focused on primary healthcare delivery, among other deliverables. He established and constructed 4 primary health centers, each of them with 30-bed capacity. These primary health centers are located in Limankara, in Goza local government area, Kaleri in Mafa local government area, Zamari in Konduga local government area, and Shuari 2 in Maiduguri Municipal Council. The primary health center in Shuari 2 was inaugurated by Vice President Kashim Shettima on Friday, the 8th of September 2023.
To cherish forever commission this training on service to humanity and our people.
The Vice President congratulated Governor Umara Zulum for the feat achieved in just 100 days of his second term. The Nigerian number 2 man undertook a tour of the facilities at the health center before leaving the area. The next day, I returned to the Shuari 2 primary health center to get a clearer view of the facility, especially its inner recesses. I was received by the Executive Secretary, Borno State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Professor Muhammad Arab Alaji. Professor Alaji is a pediatrician by training,
by His Excellency,
a former Chief Medical Director of the Borno State Health Management Board, and immediate past Commissioner for Health and Human Services in the state.
His Excellency, Professor Babagana Umara Zulum, has a great passion for health. Again, we all know health is wealth. And the bulk, the majority of the populace stay in the community where you find the less privileged people in the society. And therefore, primary healthcare services is the foundation for any healthcare services.
He took me inside the health center and spoke on its capacity to deliver on its mandate.
Government has provided solar power energy, so we are well lit. You can see the panels, everything is white, so we have, one is electricity. Secondly, water supply.
To ensure that critical health professionals attached to the health center are always available to provide service, Governor Umara Zulum constructed staff quarters for nurses within the premises of the Shuari 2 Primary Health Center.
We have the toilets, and they have a quite vast land.
He throws more light on why Professor Zulum is so committed to primary health care delivery.
To ensure that a woman at any point in time should be able to avail, a child should be able to, an elderly should be able to come to a primary health care within the shortest possible time to access services. The critical area.
He noted that the governor's unusual commitment to primary health care delivery is already yielding dividends, with Borno State adjudged the best in Nigeria in primary health care and winning the sum of $1.2 million for achieving the feat.
After the verification committee met, they assessed all these 13 thematic areas, and at the end of it, Borno State was adjudged to be the overall best state that is supporting primary healthcare services in the whole of the country. And we were awarded $1.2 million US.
Nothing illustrates Governor Zulum's commitment to taking healthcare delivery to the door of the underprivileged than the construction of the 44-bed Gwange Maternity Hospital. Professor of Gynecology and Obstetrics, Professor Obaka Ali Kulima, is the Chief Medical Director, Borno State Hospital Management Board. He explains why it was necessary to set up the hospital in one of Maiduguri's most densely populated wards.
Gwange is one of the strategic wards in Maiduguri that is having the large population of our pregnant mothers who are going elsewhere to access health services. So in view of this, he feels there is the need for him to establish this hospital, particularly to address the care, not only establishing, but you want to make sure that it is also accessible, and he converted this hospital to be free.
Last year, the new hospital recorded about 5,000 births without a single reported death of an inmate during childbirth. I spoke with two health professionals who expressed their joy at delivering medical services to an impressive number of patients.
It is only maternity cases are admitted here. That is from 4 months upward. We used to conduct more than 10 deliveries per day. We used to conduct the delivery, and alhamdulillah, we used to conduct it successfully. Sometimes card will be short for them. We are even encouraging the HMBs to add more antenatal card for them. With this economic, when we give them the free service, them too, they will be appreciated. They will invite more patients here.
Falmata Kachala, a healthcare professional with 28 years experience, is the chief nursing officer of Gwange Maternity Hospital. She throws more light on what makes Gwange Maternity Hospital unique.
People come from far away. They come to this hospital, they attend their antenatal clinic free, their routine drugs free, their delivery successfully free. We conduct more than 150 at the month, excessive delivery. At time of antenatal, we attend more than 800 to 900.
Yet, the governor is not relenting in planning big for the state health sector that already boasts of 41 general hospitals.
It was a mixed.
Along the highway to Damaturu, the Yobe state capital, Governor Zulum is building a 400-bed Borno State University Teaching Hospital and Medical College. I was accompanied to the site of the sprawling teaching hospital by Professor Babamalam Ghana, a UK-trained professor of urology who left his medical practice in Wales, United Kingdom, to take up appointment as Borno State Commissioner for Health and Human Services. He speaks on Governor Zulum's commitment to improving healthcare delivery in the state and what drives the governor's passion.
Excellency has got a very soft spot for healthcare, and as a result of this, we have got 41 secondary care facilities, general hospitals, but we lacked, state government lacked a tertiary center of this magnanimity stature. So as a result of which, this was conceived with all the facilities, all the departments you can think of in a hospital, tertiary center, and all the cutting-edge technology.
He also spoke on his envisaged capacity and when the building project is likely to be put to bed.
Middle of next year, this project should be commissioned, and so all hands are on deck right now. And a lot of the materials have been ordered, including the MRIs and the CT scans, and everything have been ordered.
Professor Ghana is of the view that a project of this magnitude can help reduce medical tourism to the barest minimum.
What we have done in Borno, including setting up this, will reverse the trend of medical tourism, because we are putting in cutting-edge technology here, and we're going to bring clinicians who have the expertise, who understand cutting-edge technology, and who can be able to operate on patients. And this will be done on clinical governance basis, so that cases of mismanagement, misdiagnosis will be in the barest minimum in this setup.
Among the 9 bills recently worked on by the Borno State House of Assembly are bills meant to catalyze significant improvement in the health sector of the state. The commissioner throws some light on those bills and why they became necessary.
One of the most important bills that His Excellency has signed into law recently as part of his 100 days celebration in the second tenure is the Drugs and Consumables Supply Agency. With the advent of this bill, we're looking at the state government pioneering and having relationship with drug manufacturers within Nigeria. We have already contacted at least 5 of them, and they are willing to be able to partner with us so that drugs are manufactured locally and are sourced locally, and we are buying them from a sure source. And we are, in that way, then we eliminate or bring it barest minimum the fake drug syndrome.
In just 100 days of his second term, Governor Zulum executed 77 projects cutting across different sectors. For a man with a people-centered mindset, keeping people alive through qualitative healthcare delivery will always be an overriding desire.
Again, Jide, I admire your tour of duty. That's what the job consists of. In pictures and live interviews, we are able to appreciate what the money is doing in Borno State. Dotun?
Let me say...
It tells you it can be done.
EKO has done a good job. And that job is simply telling us that despite all the complaints about paucity of funds, even the little you have, you can put it to good use.
Maximum use.
Yeah, very good use. It's just a matter of getting your priorities right, ensuring that contracts are not inflated. Earlier on in the program, we spoke about what happens to our road contracts. People just go in, collect money at an initial exorbitant rate, and every 3 months seek an upward.
Let me humor you a little. They say a gentleman, he get money, got home, came back from burying the father and told a friend, if you the coffin until my father, you to die go hungry you. The friend said, but why you say for don't die now before you come out?
Don't die, enter inside that.
So as I joked, seeing the health facilities, to be sick, go hungry you.
Go hungry person. Even to go to medical school, go hungry person.
Yes, no.
With this kind of, I was also in Borno and I saw some of those model schools that were put in place, especially for children rescued from Boko Haram, from the insurgency. Those children were quite happy. And they are still happy till now because those facilities have been expanded. From the gates, you fall in love with the school.
Yeah.
Yes. So if we have people who have the capacity in government to use
those are the people we applaud.
Yes, we should applaud them.
Yeah.
Not only applaud them, like they say in some circles, the reward for hard work, not just hard work, good work.
Yeah.
There should be more work.
Yeah.
But in Nigeria, we know the way we try to end up. People like this want to cut them down so that they will not stop those who have the ambition to run the country down from gaining their position.
Jide, I'm sure if you were told that this man is achieving this much in his second term, you wouldn't have been persuaded. But to achieve this in the first 100 days of his second term is something, it adds more to...
when I was moving around, I was asking those people, I said, are you sure this hospital was built from the scratch within the first 100 days of his second term? And they told me. In fact, I saw them in some cases putting finishing touches, So he told them, I want this. And those primary health
centers... There's a timeline.
Yes. Those primary health centers, he spread them through some local governments across the state, and they were delivered within 100 days.
Yeah,
and if vocational centers too, you need to see some of Borno State's vocational centers. Come on, it can compete with what is available anywhere. And I can tell you, those who go through pupillage in those places, because they have the facilities that they need.
Yeah.
Whether it's carpentry that you want to do or your barbing, everything.
The environment enhances what
and
you're trying
delivered in 100 days.
That's it.
It's incredible. The vice president asked him when they got to that primary health center in Shuwari that, are you saying this was done in 100 days? With beddings, everything complete in 100 days? The chillers, everything in 100 days. But you know, for me, I'm not too surprised. He's a different kind of person. Governors usually relax during their second term. Yeah. We see governors who started where they didn't end well. But to show you that it's a different kind of person, look at this one, that building that you just saw. I hope the producer can show us again. That is...
this one.
No.
Okay.
This one. That brown building. No, this is still the health. This one, this building was completed in 100 days. It's a vocational center. So each of those rooms have take care of the different trades and all that. So I wasn't really surprised. I can say I'm a bit surprised because he has not relented. Where he finds the energy, I don't know. Because when he came into office in 2019, he said I should come and see his projects after 100 days. And I saw mega schools ready in 100 days. And I was asking, you mean this? I was asking the contractors and other people. They said, yes, 100 days. It's possible.
It is possible.
It's possible. Some of the projects that Zulum is executing in 100 days, some people will not execute it in 4 years.
Yeah.
This hospital, the one they just showed us now is Gwonge Maternity Hospital. Gwonge is one of the most densely populated areas in the metropolis. And he put the hospital there. Everything that they do is free.
Really?
From antenatal to delivery is free. They give you your drugs free. In 1 year, that's the hospital. In 1 year, they were delivered of 5,000 babies. The expectant women there.
Dr. Borno is not your example of a rich state.
No, it's not.
So maximizing
if we base it on what the returns from the Federation Accounts Allocation Committee is not. It's one of the least.
If you waited for the Federation account, it wouldn't have done it.
And that's why we keep saying men of ideas.
That's it.
Are the ones who can take this country out of where we are from.
Proper use of resources.
Yeah, because you must be able to generate funds without putting a yoke on the people. If you attempt to do some of the collections being done in a state like Lagos in Borno, you won't even find who to task. You won't. How many companies are there? How many individuals have homes that you can say, come and pay me land use charge? These are small places from where you get money. How many of them? So it means you must be able to think out of the box. You must be able to say, if I embark on this health project, where can I get international funding? And those international fundings, what they need, they are clearly defined objectives and openness. Because $1 must not be missing.
When you are real, it shows.
It shows.
It shows.
So it's a matter of
when you ask where he gets money.
Yeah.
2 times now, I've seen Borno State win what I can call competition against other states. I think in 2020 or so, 2020, 2021, I went to Borno State. I did a story about basic education in Borno State. Borno State defeated other Nigerian states in the area of basic education, especially enrollment, fresh enrollment. They came tops. And for that, they got World Bank funding. Others competed for it, but Borno came first. And what they got, the governor will invest that money into projects. Now, in the area of primary health care, what he has done in the area of primary health care, they also they entered into some form of competition with other states. Borno came first, and they got $1.2 million. Are you telling me?
Which is a lot of money.
Yes, a lot
Naira.
of money. In today's Nigeria, 1.2 million Naira dollars, $1.2 million, you can reinvest it into other projects.
All you win another.
And with that, you can turn it over and win another. So he has seen opportunities in this, and he wants to show that, look, we are the best at this. We can do this. And in doing that, he gets extra funding from donor agencies, from global partners. So that encourages him to continue to push hard.
Doctor, in an environment where being number two, keeping your job as a number two man is even more demanding, you can say, you can beat your chest and say, today's vice president was very happy he picked him.
He must be.
If you understand what I mean.
It must be. For him to even have expressed shock about the achievement. You know, like BKO said, what most of us expect of second-term governors is for them to amass wealth, to party,
slow down,
to start looking at who is going to succeed.
Dr. Hunger Zone won't let you breathe.
They won't. But in this case, we can see that the man is breathing. Because he has defined his own...
He's even behaving like he just came into
office. Yes, he has defined his own path. He has started it well.
And you know, in our country today, being your own man is difficult.
Very, very.
Yeah.
Because once you start hearing praise singers...
That's it.
Once you even start pandering to praise singers, you're in trouble. And there are more praise singers than people who can tell you the truth. That's why you need people who are qualified for positions to be there. People who, when they talk, you know, can walk away from you.
That's it.
Look at the man who is commissioner now. You add his profile. Someone who has worked in Wales for so many years. That kind of man, you can't bring him in and treat him anyhow. He will walk away.
Of course.
He will walk away. And that will tell you a lot about his government.
When you look at Governor Zulum's cabinet, there are many engineers, many professors. He's just bringing... He's looking for the best. He went for medical checkup abroad and saw this professor of urology and said, you served in other lands for decades. Come and help your country.
Come home.
He's an internationally acclaimed medical professional, and he came home to serve his country.
Yeah.
So I'm just happy that, look, we can hold this man up as a good example
and
of how to apply funds.
I hope the feeling can be infectious, become infectious.
I just hope so. Let me just, before we go, there is something that they've done that should tell you that they are so forward-thinking.
Okay.
In building that teaching hospital, Borno State teaching hospital that they showed you, that giant building, they know that they will need drugs when that tertiary medical center kicks off. They now went into partnership with drug makers here in Lagos and this area in Ogun State, Ota.
Agbara.
Yes. They now went into partnership with them to enable them produce and supply so that the issue of fake drugs syndrome will be effectively, and there will be constant supply, not out of stock syndrome, which is a big problem in hospitals. They won't have it. So they will still produce drugs for them.
I share the sentiments, you know, at least from the pictures I've seen, and I wish Governor Zulum very well. Dr. They say when you are telling the truth, you don't need to remember anything.
No.
Because whatever you are saying
will remain constant.
Like that.
Yes.
Well, the truth is we must go, but let me thank Jide for coming, and Dr. Oladipo, many thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Tomorrow, Monday, the program returns to the usual 5 p.m. And of course, if you missed any part of this broadcast, join us later tonight at 11:30 And to announce also, we are on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Bye-bye now. Take care.
On the 19th of June 2023, President Bola Tinubu appointed Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar as the 22nd Chief of the Air Staff of Nigeria. Watch the first exclusive and extensive interview by Air Marshal Abubakar as he shares his vision for the Air Force with Babajide Kolade Otitoju. The Air Chief stresses that motivation of troops through enhanced welfare is the most important element of any system.
The human being is actually the most important element in any system. And that is why we are paying a lot of attention in making sure that our personnel are highly motivated.
Praises the federal government for providing the Nigerian Air Force with modern equipment, but like Oliver Twist, he's asking for more.
Still need more equipment, more platforms, more armament, more technology.
Air Marshal Abubakar speaks on the Tucano bombers and their contributions to battlefield successes of the Air Force.
One precision weapon, call them precision kill weapons, on the Super Tucano may be as costly as maybe $100,000. So it's not on any kind of target you want to use that kind of weapon.
He is excited with the acquisition of new warplanes which gave the Nigerian Air Force greater capacity and capability.
The EH-1 Zulu helicopter from the United States, we are acquiring 12 of them. The Trekker helicopters, we're having another 10 of that is coming from Italy. The M346, the government is acquiring 24 of them for the Nigerian Air Force.
The Air Force chief also recalls being fired at as a pilot.
In the heat of the crisis around Maiduguri, dropping supplies and troops into the Maiduguri airport, we have actually been fired at some point.
Watch the full interview on Journalists Hangout on Tuesday, the 26th of September.
Coming up in the month of September, on the 5th is International Day of Charity, while the 7th of September is International Day of Police Cooperation. The 8th is International Literacy Day. Also on the 8th is 1 year remembrance of Queen Elizabeth II's death. 10th September is World Suicide Prevention Day. On the same day is 1 year anniversary of when Prince Charles was proclaimed king. On the 11th of September, it's 22 years after the World Trade Center was attacked by terrorists in the United States in 2001. 15th September is International Day of Democracy, while the 16th is International Day for the Preservation of the Ozone Layer. 21st September, International Day of Peace, and 23rd is dedicated as International Day of Sign Languages. 27th September is set aside as World Tourism Day, and 28th is World Maritime Day. On the 29th is International Day of Awareness of Food Loss and Waste. Stay tuned to TVC News as we bring you reports and analysis of these events. TVC News, first with breaking news.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
You and Your Health is brought to you by Doctors Save a Life Foundation.
Far beyond witches and wizards is the root cause of health problem of many in Africa. Seek professional advice concerning that your health matter.
Save a Life Foundation is an NGO with a unique vision of giving total health for all through the power of knowledge. Your health is your strength. Your health is your prosperity. Your health is your life. Give it professional attention. You and Your Health.
With Dr. Richard Okoye, now on TVC News, every Sunday by 3:30 p.m.
Hello, my pleasure to come your way today. In this edition of You and Your Health, you should never forget, not even to your loved ones. It is quite pathetic that we have a quite disturbing news right here in the country, and as a matter of fact, a tragedy that has been part of the system we must have to address. A promising young boy, regrettably, die on a circumstance by which some say it is mysterious. Some are still asking questions. The mom also asks, as many people are asking. It is important for you to keep today's program for life. You know what? What happened to this boy is very dangerous for the country, and unfortunately, many will die simply because of the story of this boy if you do not understand the message of today. It's quite a very horrible one. It's not a pleasant one. And that's why I want to call on everybody. Call your friends, call your loved ones. This is what it could be described as, say, affliction shall not rise the second time. May it not happen to you. May it not happen to anyone linked to you. And the only way for such not to happen is for you to be able to know where the intestine of this boy went.
You and Your Health with Dr. Richard Okoye, now on TVC News every Sunday by 3:30 p.m.
Welcome back. You are still on You and Your Health. I remain your friend, Dr. Richard Okoye. I've actually not been in the country for a while, and I got this particular post on the internet being shared all over the world about Nigerian horrible healthcare experience where doctors now stealing the intestine of their patients. I came back to receive the news on pages of newspaper. The